Hey everybody, Knick-Knack here, back again for another countdown video. This time I'm going to be talking about my top 10 games of 2016. In terms of gaming wise, I would say that 2016 for me wasn't too shabby, as I was fortunate enough to play 10 games released that year. However, like the majority of best of the year countdowns I make, I unfortunately missed out on playing a ton of heavy hitters. Most notably games like Doom, Uncharted 4, and Final Fantasy, and because of that, they won't be on this list. Still, I was able to play more than 10, and I'd like to talk about them. So without further ado, here's my top 10 favorite games of 2016, which of course are in my opinion. Starting off the list at number 10 is Honeycomb Studio. Now I was one of the people who helped kickstart the puzzle game sim game Honey Pop, and I got this for free, so of course this part will be biased. Anyway, the game in particular has you becoming a pimp as you're working with a ton of ladies who decide to become cam girls, and pretty much you have to make sure your business succeeds by assigning tasks for them and making money and fans for upgrades and whatnot. It's basically an increment game combined with a Facebook sim game, and despite the main thing of the game, it doesn't have no nudity whatsoever. As for why I enjoyed this game more than the obvious, I personally liked it for just being a simple and perverted concept that had replayability. Plus, it was nice seeing these characters I liked return. With that being said, I had some fun with the short and simple game, and I'm okay with starting the list off with it at number 10. Number 9 goes to Let Die. Unfortunately, I haven't beaten the game yet, but I've put enough hours into it, and I'm still enjoying it as I'm making this vid. Made by fine folks at Grasshopper Manufacture, I believe this game is a roguelike that's just so unique. In this game you play as in an apocalyptic-like version of Tokyo, and it's your goal to make your way to the top of this mysterious tower that is said to await good things for people. Now what makes this game so unique is the setting and gameplay itself, as the tower is full of characters like your own that are trying to kill you with unique weapons you and they can wield, including clothing irons, blunt weapons like hockey sticks and hammers, and much more. You go up a few floors, fight these enemies and bosses, level up, and explore the area around you to help improve your stats. I'm enjoying it a ton with structure, and one thing to note is that it's free to play, which is hard to believe. It's a bit lower, however, due to a chance of me possibly being bored with the game and frustrated with it as well. Still, with what was being said, for being a free game that I can sink a ton of hours into, a 4 or 2 each day, I'm loving Let Die, and it deserves a solid 9th spot. Coming in at number 8 is The King of Fighters XIV. One of my most anticipated games last year, KOF 14 delivered by both in quality and being a complete product compared to another fighter. In terms of quality, it delivers by being a game that's easy to play, yet hard to master, as they included all these complex and solid mechanics that I'm still learning a bit to this day. Pretty much it's King of Fighters gameplay, and if you play 13, you'll enjoy the depth of this one. In terms of being a complete product, it has a whole bunch of stuff, such as an arcade mode with cutscenes, plenty of unlockables, and of course, new characters. The characters are awesome as it includes a ton of newcomers to the franchise, like Nakaruru and Geese being my personal faves, as well as newly created characters like Nelson and Shune. Pretty much, it's an enjoyable fighting game. The only reason why, however, is that this number though is because I'm a bit spoiled with NetherRealm fighters. Still, KOF 14, great game for your money, and it deserves a spot on my countdown at number 8. At number 7 is Song of the Deep. Ever since I've heard about this game, I was interested in it, as it is Insomniac making a Metroid/Castlevania-like game about a deep-sea fairy tale. Once I started playing this game, I was really impressed. Didn't want to use the word, but basically, the best way to describe this game is a Metroidvania for kids, as it's easy for the most part, but when it gets to puzzles and bosses, it starts to become a bit difficult. In this game, you play a girl exploring the deep sea, and man does the scene look beautiful. From sunken seas and ruins, to lush vegetation, to hidden areas that are technologically advanced. Each setting is full of color and well detailed. In terms of gameplay, controlling the character can be a bit annoying because of the underwater setting, but it works, and the gameplay from the platforming, puzzles, and combat is both fun and challenging. Despite being easy at times, this game was very enjoyable, and for the $15 price it was originally for, it's well worth the money if you ask me, and that's why it's at number 7. Number 6 goes to the Deadly Tower of Monsters. I first heard about this game from Atlas's Instagram, and considering what it was about, I decided to get day 1 as Steam had a sale for it, and I really enjoyed it. This is a top-down shooter that tries to pay homage to 1950s sci-fi films, and it's just simple yet humorous. In this game, you go through a planet full of monsters and aliens and whatnot to try and defeat this evil doctor. What makes it humorous is that you're going through a film and the director's commentating on it and talks about how the film was made, from its special effects and enemies to the setting. It's funny with how incompetent he is, and seeing all the touches the developers try and do to make it feel like an old sci-fi film is icing on the cake. As for gameplay, it's simple, as you're just traversing the world and finding these creatures, and there's nothing special to be honest. But it's fun, and there's a whole bunch of unique weapons and abilities to use, with tons of things to collect. By what it was setting out to do, while being a competent game with a funny ending, this game was surprisingly worth my money, and that's why I put it at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Project Cross Zone 2. I'm not ashamed to admit that I bet I'm one of the only few people here in this world that enjoyed Project Cross Zone 1. So when I heard that I was getting a sequel, I was actually excited. Thanks to a good friend I have in real life, I was fortunate enough to have borrowed it from him, and I thank him for it, and I really enjoyed the game a ton. Now, despite me enjoying it, I do admit the game has problems, as it has so many similarities to the first one, but still, I'm a glutton for punishment, and I found enjoyment with some of those things, and some of those things that were the same were even fixed. Story-wise, it was still a convoluted mess, but that didn't take away from the other things that was good about this game, such as the beautiful presentation and the new things added to make this game different from the first. Speaking of new things, some of them include new characters like Strider Hiryu, Kazuma Kiryu, Segata Sanshiro, and Carmen Lucina, to name a few. But the thing that made me love this game even better than the first was that it fixed the annoyingness from the first one, as it lowered the amount of battles needed to complete stages, and that there alone just worked. Like, it wasn't like a slog near the end of the game as I used to expect or expected. Yeah. So although it feels as much as the first one, I enjoyed my time with this game a lot, to the point that it's on the spot at number 5. Let's just hope I review it later on, but that's besides the point. At number 4 is Overwatch. This is a game that needs no introduction because a whole lot of people know about it and are still enjoying it to this day. As for me, even though I admit it's just Team Fortress 2 but a bit more improved, I found myself sinking a fair amount of hours into this game. While the presentation is nice, the game delivers through its characters and gameplay. Like it has a whole bunch of unique characters from all around the world with a ton of differences in how they play, and each character feels extremely different from one another. As for gameplay, it's of course like TF2, but the game modes is where I think it shines. From securing payloads, capturing objectives, to holiday updates that let you play soccer or have elimination battles, it keeps the game fresh if you ask me, especially on the PC. The only reason, however, why I'm not playing it as my number 1 is because of the biggest flaw most people have, and that's no campaign. Still, even without a campaign, and even the standard deathmatch mode, I think the hype is well deserved, and although I don't play it as much, because it might be too addicting, the game was so fun and addicting, which is why it's high at my 3rd favorite 2016 game. Coming in at number 3 is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Now unfortunately, I still haven't beaten this game yet. However, I put about 32 hours into it, so I'm confident enough to be on this list and at this high. I, like many, had no knowledge or interest in this game because of the Digimon name, but after praise I've been hearing from people I follow on YouTube, I picked it up once I found it cheap, and man am I hooked. It's basically a monster racing game like Pokemon, but far less complex if you ask me, which is what makes this game so fun and addicting. Like most monster racing games, it has you owning creatures known as Digimon, and has you training them to become stronger for you to fight alongside with. What's so simple about this is that it doesn't involve a capturing method. You just have a certain Digimon, enough to fully scan it and add it to your party. As for other parts of the game, the setting is nice with modern take of Japan and an online world that you also have to visit. The presentation is beautiful with cel-shaded graphics and electronic music. The content is vast, and of course the turn-based combat is great as it's standard yet fun. A really surprising game which I'm glad to see get much love from the community, and that's why it's high on the list as my number 3. Number 2 goes to Animation Throwdown. This game was a huge surprise for me how fun, easy, and addicting it can get. Now I'm not going to talk too much on this game because I talked about it on my last video, which you should check out, but damn I can't put this game down. For those who want to know what this game is about, it's a free-to-play online card game on mobile devices that combines the characters and worlds of some animated sitcoms from Fox. Other than being a fan of these shows, the game delivers with its modes and events, strategical elements, and its replenishing counter. Something that is definitely needed for these games, or else it can get too addicting. I'm looking at you, WWE Supercard. With just being easy to play and spending tons of hours into it, I'm not afraid to put this as my 2nd favorite game of 2016. Now let's move on to my Game of the Year. And finally, at number 1, as my favorite game of 2016, I'm gonna have to go with Fire Emblem Fates Birthright. Now I know some of you are going to call me stupid for considering this, out of all things, to be my favorite 2016 game. Well, I have a good explanation, and that is, believe it or not, this is my first Fire Emblem game. To make a long story short, I was one of the people scared of the concept of permadeath, so I didn't play the FE series up until now, as I heard this was a bit easy compared to others. Also, because I had to get the Fates bundle because them FE games soon become expensive as fuck. So what made me love this game? First off, its presentation is beautiful as fuck. Like damn, it's hard to believe those cutscenes for those who've played it are on the 3DS, like that's some like Wii U or high quality console shit. Next is the characters, and for the most part, they're unique and various. From Hoshidans to Norians, each one that joins you has a unique personality, and seeing them on their quest to defeat their opposing empire was a decent one of turmoil. Like off topic, there were a ton of Fates cosplays at this year's Anime Expo, and that should show how much people enjoy these characters. But the thing that made me so engrossed in this game was its gameplay. While the hub world / city building parts were okay, and the tactical on-screen gameplay was solid and full of strategy which made me think how to win each battle, what made it for me was that pairing up bullshit that I heard was an awakening. You know, combining two units into one, having them fight alongside so much that they end up being friends, reading conversations between them, and shipping male and female characters where they end up being a couple and having a playable child on the battlefield? Yeah, I ate that shit up so much to the point that I spent 118 hours on this game. And because of that, in conclusion, I loved every single one of those 118 hours of Birthright. And just through a combination of that time and the other features I mentioned earlier, I'm not afraid to say that this is my 2016 game of the year. So that was a list of my favorite 2016 games. Just like I say with most of my countdowns, let me know some of your favorite games of 2016 or whatnot. Anyway, look forward to my most anticipated 2017 games as well as our videos on this channel. So as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, take it easy, and until next video.